A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the first edition of the show for the week. Promises to be exciting as always. I'm here, me, Adibai. Well, tonight on the show, we will be doing a post-mortem of the 13th edition of the African Games. It was a good outing for Team Nigeria. We talk about the highs, the lows, and of course, look at how it all panned out right there in Ghana. We'll take a look at, of course, the Nigeria Premier Football League. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the ladies as well. We'll also have in focus the international friendly between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Eagles of Mali. We talk about what will likely happen, a lot of withdrawals from that game, a lot of the players, of course, not available, but Coach Finidi George will, of course, do his best to ensure I'll get a good result from that one. And of course, we'll talk about the Olympics is upon us. Around 120 days, thereabout, before the Olympics start. So we'll talk about it. It's a two-man show. My colleague, also Nokoda Akpan, is waiting in the wings. And of course, when he's ready, we'll continue with the show. But first, let me quickly introduce our guest in the Lagos studio. It's been a while we've done this together. Kehinde Idris, greetings to you. Thanks for finding that time to be with us on the show.
Yeah, it's good to be here. We're discussing off air. I think the last time should be like January.
And we're all set together.
And there was a time it was almost every week. But it is what it is. Our job takes us, here and there. And every time I look forward to the lineup, and this lineup is very interesting. Hey, whenever we talk about the African Games, now I love the angle that we'll be discussing other sports, not just football. So it gets me excited, and I'm sure we'll get angles and look into what teams are doing to hedge Nigeria off, that top seat, especially a team like Egypt that have done it back-to-back.
All right, so that's it. We'll talk about the African Games. And first, let me ask Kehinde Idris, without wasting too much time, because there's a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah.
What's your impression? A good outing, no doubt.
Yeah.
Is it a reflection of the work we've put in, or this is just Africa, don't get carried away? I mean, I'm looking at all the angles, but I mean, generally, what do you make of Team Nigeria's performance and where we finish on the medal table?
I think thumbs up, and I'll say thumbs up to, firstly, the athletes, the gladiator themselves. I think they are all, trying everything possible to put themselves in that competition mode, build up to the Olympics. I saw fire from all of them. Chidi, Tobiloba Amuso, Shade Olatoye, the wrestlers, Oburu Dudu, Oduaya Adekore, all went to the African Games for one thing. Yes, gold is very important, but they want to put themselves in a proper stead where mentally you're coming off a gold medal from the African Games and probably you have your championships and all, but the next national team competition is the Olympics, and that's what they want to do. Sometimes you get to the African Games, you're competing against fellow Africans, and you're picking a bronze medal or a silver medal. It feels like even in my continent, I still cannot conquer, my fellow compatriots. And then now I want to go to the world because the Olympics is the world. And I think that is what so many of these athletes, took all the way to Ghana. Let's get into that mood of proper winning. And then when you compete against the world, it feels like the continent is already conquered by me. Now let me see to what I will do against the world. And I saw progress. I saw the last African Games and athletes, somebody like Elizabeth Ayenacho winning bronze medal, and now she made it a gold this time. You can go on with names. Chidi was fantastic for me. Enekwechi Chukwuebuka. These names, Usha Ishekiri, these names just keep popping up. And everybody look like they are just in that mood to conquer Africa and put themselves in that stead that if I can conquer my continent, what is next is to conquer the globe. And where is the next place to conquer the globe is straight to the Olympics and then to the administrator. Now, the first thing about the administrator is the fact that we had a fatter contingent. One of the things we've had in the past...
Kehinde Idris, I'm going to pause you a little. I'm very sure we're going to be seeing some pictures from Ghana. And by the way, I think they did a good job. But first, Kehinde Idris gave his thoughts. But let's also listen to somebody who is in a position to give an opinion, an informed one, on what happened in Ghana. Let's listen to the Minister of Sports Development, John Eno, talking about Team Nigeria's performance, what it makes of it. We'll come back to analyze some more and, of course, look at all the other angles.
The ministry is going to concentrate on those sports that Nigeria has continued to do well, those sports that have given us nearly all the gold medals that we have recorded. I mean, the ministry is going to adopt every strategy that is available. The ministry is looking at various other funding models, right, that are going to assist us to be able to take care of these particular athletes in these sports and also go beyond that. I mean, the sports that we're not doing well, we've got a huge population, and that population is hugely talented. So we're going to go to other areas as well. Those other areas that we're not doing well, we want to see how we can, interrogate those areas and see how we can be able to also do well. So that we can contribute to our medal haul. In the next game, let's not just be getting medals in those games and sports that we're doing well, but even in other sports that we're not doing well at the moment.
All right. The minister there, Kene, you listen to him.
Yeah.
What do you make of his assessment? First, let's start from there.
Yeah,
you agree with everything said?
Yeah, I do. And I think I was just, juxtaposed to what he said during the competition when he was talking about, payments and all of that, how the payments will be broken. It was speaking very transparently. And one of the things we've struggled, especially the athlete, is the fact that there is always things shrouded in secrecy. They don't understand what's happening. All they hear is there is a lacuna. These people are getting all of their fat paycheck. And we, whether it is meager or fat, we're not even getting anything. And not just getting, we're not even hearing anything. So it feels like we're left in limbo. And this minister, to what I saw with the African Games, left, all the way to Ghana, speaking with them day in, day out. And I think I agree also with what he just said now. Good assessment, and it looks like he wants to do better with all of the generations if they are willing to work with him.
All right. Just like I said at the beginning, my colleague Austin Okonakwa is suited and ready now. Greetings, Austin. Another good day to talk sports.
Sport greetings to you, Yemi. It's good to see you. Welcome back on the show. What a story for Team Nigeria at the African Games. Every time we have an opportunity to compete in Africa, there are lessons in it. But the big question is, do we ever learn? We went to these African Games, and it was still the same old story of, did we get the right preparations? Have we given attention to athletes' welfare? But our guys went there, and against all odds, they performed. I remember when we had John on Elwan, the Minister of Sports Development, on this show. I asked him a very straightforward question: are you going to be another minister for football? Yemi, you remember? And he said no. Honorable Minister, now you can see that as a country, we are blessed. Anu Peyori won gold in badminton. Our wrestlers went there. They won gold medals. Weightlifting got over 15 gold medals. Yeah. Arm wrestling, the same thing. Now we are showing the world in athletics that we're not just about the tracks, that we can also be champions on the field. Namdi won gold in men's javelin. We've seen upcoming stars, Christina Ochonogo, won bronze in the women's long jump. Now it's a Brome has got somebody that she can tutor. The lessons, particularly the vital lessons. Let's keep it. Before the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham in 2022, I said that the Commonwealth Games should expose two sports that we used to do so well back in the day, but then we went to sleep and it didn't do good anymore. Weightlifting and boxing. And at that Commonwealth Games, we saw magic. Weightlifting broke records, won medals. Boxing won medals. Elizabeth Oshoba, 1 year after the Commonwealth Games, Yemi, she is the world champion in a category. This country called Nigeria is just so blessed. We're just lacking that finishing touch. Those things that will do, that will make a bride look so beautiful before she steps out on her wedding day. That's what Egypt seemed to be doing. I told the guys on the show, Yemi, when you're not around the other day, I said that Egypt, out of everything that is working for them, I picked out just two. that they're doing so well. Infrastructure and athletes' welfare. We don't need to do, because we know yet that we haven't gotten there yet. Infrastructure, athletes' welfare. Look at Egypt now bossing the African Games. With boxing, we know we've got the talent. With weightlifting, we know we've got the talent. But have we got the infrastructure? Do we take care of our athletes in other sports the way we do with our footballers? Honorable Minister of Sports Development, these are the issues. Let's start tackling them from the root cause. Because these guys that have played, that have performed well at the African Games, majority of the wrestlers have qualified for the Olympics in Paris. Majority of the weightlifters have qualified for the Olympics in Paris. The boxers will also qualify. Our track and field athletes, they've qualified. It is the way you treat them from now to the Olympics that we do something to them mentally to impress. I'm particularly pleased with what our boxers did. I think 8 gold medals, 2 silver. Let's listen to our boxers. They're back home and they've been reacting after a fantastic performance at the African Games in Ghana.
Number one, I have to give thanks to God for everything. Without God, we are nothing. But I thank God, and I'm so proud for these boxers for winning 8 gold. It have never happened in the history of Nigerian boxing. 2 silver. We lost 1. That's so good. But number one, I thank everybody that support all these children. It's a big deal for Nigerian boxing. Big deal. And nobody expecting it. The ministry itself never expecting it. We are not, they write Nigerian boxing out entirely. Both Olympic, all African Games, nobody talking about us. During our time, we did it, but not like today.
Yeah, you know, females generally are taking over sport everywhere in the world. We have been agitating for gender equality and all of that, and now we have proven it that we can do so much more in sport, in every field that the women, the girl child, the women are playing. We have a big role to play, and we are excelling. We are competing with our male counterpart, and we are competing very well, and we are doing excellently well, especially in a sport as difficult as boxing. If women can bring out this much gold, we went out with 7 female, we have 5 gold and 2 silver. We have good leadership. The administration, the headed by the General Minima, they are doing very well. Getting into the final with 10 medals, it's something unprecedented. I myself, I was wowed by the result because we left with only 11 boxers. Imagine if we have more. Imagine if we have went with the 16 boxers that was given to us at the onset. If 6 were not dropped, I can bet you that we will have come back home with 14 medals. When you look at the table, when you look at the slot and everything, we see our strengths, our weaknesses. We know where we are. We know where we're going. But women in Nigerian boxing is going places. Look at it now. We've qualified 3 for the Olympics. We have that already. And this is the most difficult Olympics. I would like to emphasize that once again. It's the most difficult Olympic selections that we have in Africa, where we have only 11 female qualifying and 7 male category. Only 1. And out of the 7 that the whole of Africa has to present in the Olympics, we had 2 in the first Olympic qualifications. Aren't we just super?
Actually, I'm a little disappointed, but at the same time, God knows the best. God knows the best, but I thank God. But my next outing should be more better than this. I want to thank myself for making myself do what I think I cannot do. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of my manager. I'm proud of my coach, my friends, my mom, my dad that supports me and that motivates me a lot. And I'm very proud of myself.
I'm not so proud about the silver ball. I give glory to God, Sha. You know all the best for me, alhamdulillah. So I know that my next performance, I'll be my next outing will be more greater than this. So I have nothing much to say than to give glory to God. God has been so good to me. At my younger age, I know what I have achieved from this boxing, alhamdulillah.
I love it. I'm so loving it. everything that was said as regards boxing in Nigeria. Kende Idris, 3 years ago, we were still asking questions because we know we have the quality. Listen, before gaining independence in 1960, Nigeria as a country had already produced world champions in boxing. Dikietu Tiger and Hogan Kid Bassi. And for a country so blessed with strong people, Kende Idris, we should be boasting the world of boxing. You heard what the lady said? She said the female boxers did so well, and we already have 3 that have qualified for the Olympics.
It's as simple as that. I was telling, a colleague just earlier today, I said, when we say we are a footballing nation, I think it's just one lie we've told ourselves in recent time. At a point, boxing had, bust everywhere. Like, every kid wants to be a boxer because of what names from Nigeria are done. Then, we had table tennis later, also. It was much later that football started, gaining that ground, and then we all turned into, a footballing nation. This is what it should be. You see, one of the saddest things I've heard in our sports setting is when we hear administrators say, we're going for a competition, but this set of, federation won't get, athletes there because they are not medal prospects. No, you don't say that. The more the merrier, the more you open it up. Right. Look at, if you put these boxers out, and then you go with, probably athletes and all of that, how would you know if they will do this much? Look at arm wrestling. Arm wrestling, I'm sure the only thing we know is, okay, we've got good arm wrestlers. Nobody can tell me they can beat their chest that they will get this much medal like they did. This is what it is. We should start doing more. And Austin, I must say, thank you for asking that question over and over again to each and every minister that comes in. Hope you won't be a football minister because it's easy for them to be in and about football everywhere they go. Oh, it's the Super Eagles. Oh, it's the Super Falcons and all. Sometimes it's even the Super Eagles. Let us spread it out. And every other sport. Egypt didn't have to play football to win as much as 102 gold medals. 102 gold medals. They didn't need to play football. They didn't need to play basketball. And they got this much. We should start looking inward. One athlete in some sport can get you 8 gold medals. Go and check it. Go and check sport like swimming and all. It is what it is. I think we need to open it. And look at these athletes. They are hungry. They are what? Hungry. And I've said it on Sports Tonight on Channels TV a couple of times, and I'll say it again. One thing I'm super sure of, in all of the hams in sports that will get us success, the athlete will every day wake and contribute their quota by going to the gym or the field or the tracks or whatever it is they need to be in, get their job done up until evening. I see them every day. Before they go back home, the administrators, what do you do every day when you get up? Because 70% to 75% of the results we see out there on match day or bout day had already happened before that day. Austin said, now to the Olympics, the welfareism and also the exposure you give to these athletes will tell the story. Sometimes these athletes come to Nigeria, perform for the nation, get injured. Nobody checks on them until another competition comes. It is too much of a sad story, and probably this is the time we will start getting it right. I am so elated about how they perform in Ghana, and they want to do more because I saw hunger. I saw a set of athletes who want to just continue to break the bounds and do so well.
Okay, all right. I had to allow Kende Idris to continue. It look like words on marble, and I hope the administrators are listening. All right, we need to go on the break right about now, but just for our viewers, let's just quickly let you know that on our DSTV platform, the program Inside the Niger Delta with Mahmoud Akuga is what you will be seeing after the break. But of course, we'll continue with Sports Tonight on all other platforms. So we'll go on that break now. We'll come back. We'll continue with our post-mortem of the African Games. And of course, we'll spread to take a look at football in Nigeria. And of course, all the other things happening in your fast-paced, money-spinning, and entertaining world of sports.
Yeah, we continue the momentum. They know that a lot of games are there for them. So especially we are hoping, Olympic qualify is coming. So I'm appealing to the authority. I'm appealing to the sports minister, even our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If they want more gold at the coming Olympic, they should invest more in boxing. As you can see, the performance they've done at this concluded competition. So I'll be glad if they can come to this girls' aid and help them to take them to qualify Olympic. So I believe if they take them to qualify, they will qualify, and not only qualify, not only to represent Nigeria, but they're going to bring glory back to this country. As you can see, it's not easy. Out of 11, 10 enter final. 8 of them good, 2 of them silver. It's not an easy task. A lot of countries are there, they not come with any medal. So investing in boxing in Nigeria, it will go a long way, and it will help this country a lot.
Boxing promoter Wasiu Alabi speaking there, and of course, I mean, what else can we say? He took 11 boxers to a major competition, and of course, 10 ended up winning medals, and of course, they can blow their own trumpets. They've done so well. All right, let's continue with our review. In a few seconds, I'll be going across the screen to take a look at some of these things. But let me quickly yield to Austin. I mean, Austin, it's time to take a look at best performing sports at the games. You've talked about it. K-Days has talked about it. Arm wrestling, boxing, athletics, weightlifting. We did well in those events. Whether or not it's going to reflect that the Olympics is something else, but at least for analysis and for the purpose of review, which we're doing tonight, those events that I mentioned, I mean, there are things to be proud of.
We should be, and except maybe if you take off arm wrestling, those other sports, you can tell that we had the quality. We were bossing it until we took our eyes off the ball, and started giving attention to some other things. And if you hear the ugly stories that some of the athletes are saying in the background, you start wondering, why are we hearing this in 2024? For instance, mixed martial arts. Though it was a demonstration sport at the African Games, we had the lady, the official from MMA Nigeria, saying that they traveled for about 22 hours by road to Ghana, in 2024. They got there and they did not even have tracksuits in 2024. And they came back, they didn't get allowances.
Wow.
So when I hear this sort of stuff, and they went there and they busted, they showed people that if it's mixed martial arts, don't come close to Nigeria. We're angry. We're going to summarize you. They show that, look, by the time this sport comes into the African Games, it will be Nigeria, gold, silver, bronze. And we have this sort of prospect. We have this gold mine, and no one is tapping into it. Now look at, they went there, did the sport, did well, but mentally, they are finished. And I keep saying it to our administrators that there are things you do before you start winning. And you would have achieved that in 70%. I told you how I met someone in Qatar. He works in the French Federation. And I started counting all the injuries that they have in the French team. No Pogba, no N'Golo Kante, no Nkunku, no this. And they said, drop it. But they finished preparing for that World Cup 2 years ago. And did France not make it to the final,
They got to the final.
They did. You said it all. I hope we learn. It appears we don't. But I don't want those issues to color what we're here to do tonight. It is to talk about an outstanding performance of Team Nigeria, and we hope that the administrators will listen. I'll go across the screen now to highlight some of these things that we talked about, and of course, Olakayode Idris and Austin and myself to do justice to what we have on screen. Comparatively, you look at Team Nigeria medal stand in arm wrestling, Nigeria did well, but of course, we were still closely following Egypt and Ghana. We had 4 gold, 2 silver, and 7 bronze, a haul of 13 medals from arm wrestling. All right. So note this. We'll talk about it as we move on. Let's flip and move quickly to the other athletics. Of course, we busted all 11 gold, 6 silver, 5 bronze, a total of 22, closely followed by Ethiopia and South Africa. And of course, those countries did well too. All right, let's move on and talk about boxing. This is where, if these people are blowing their trumpets, we should not see anything. 11 athletes were taken to the African Games in Ghana, and it could have been 11 of them on this medal table because we know some of the things that happened, but at least you have 8 gold, 2 silver, and of course Nigeria bossing that event, being the country that won, that had a haul of most medals in that one. All right, let's flip and go to weightlifting. Of course, if you comparatively, Nigeria in second position, 16 gold, 10 silver, 6 bronze, a total of 32 in weightlifting. I mean, I have to agree with you guys. Also, not a surprise, we used to do well in events like this, and wrestling. Our last port of call, Egypt, of course, bossing it. But of course, like Idris said, when you look at these things, you begin to consider how many athletes we took for these events, because if our contingent was larger, there's also the chances of winning more medals. But comparatively, Nigeria finished with 6 gold, 3 silver, and 7 bronze. The total medal haul of 11 from wrestling. And so that's it all. Also, let me quickly come to you. These are the events we did well. But in spite of the fact that we did well, did any of this, which of these events could you say, well, you knew we were good, but you didn't know we could come out that way? Is there any event that falls into that category?
It has to be weightlifting, because I saw some of the weightlifters at the Commonwealth Games, and I was really impressed, the sort of drive that they had, particularly the things they said they would like to achieve before the Paris Olympics. And we had weightlifters winning 3 gold medals. On day one of weightlifting, we had won 15 gold medals. 15 gold medals, And I always say these things that, look, to administrators, you just need to go back and say, if I've got a good workman and bad tools, what is he going to use to work, and how will he keep getting better? That's the case of weightlifting. Look at boxing, for instance. I know Coach Toyin Konyegwachi so well. I know Coach Olaleyin. Each time I call them, I know I'm ready to hear the tales of my life as regards what we're doing with boxing. Boxing shocked me to an extent also because they continued from where they also stopped at the Commonwealth Games. With arm wrestling, we see the competition in Lagos. We know so well that we're good in it. We have athletes. It's just that because it's arm wrestling, we're going to listen to it in Nigeria. And those are the things we should stop. Look at Egypt, for instance, bossing medals table for wrestling. Daniel Igali will be shaking his head because he's got the firepower to boss wrestling in Africa from now till he decides to quit.
Yes.
But he's not getting the right support. Funding. Look at boxing. They dropped 6 boxers. 6 boxers with dreams, with aspirations, that would have come to the Commonwealth Games, do so well, and then hope for a better tomorrow. They dropped them. Look at Zainab. Zainab got a silver medal, but she's saying, Alhamdulillah, I did so well. I'm proud of. Just imagine if she didn't have a chance to even come. Now she will start aspiring. I told a beautiful story of Elizabeth Oshoba. I spoke to her at the Commonwealth Games. She won silver. She was so sad. I did an interview with Elizabeth, and she told me, she said, the world will hear from her for not winning gold at the Commonwealth Games. Yeah, I mean, 6, 7 months later, she is the world champion. Look, we've got these things, So I'm surprised that weightlifting, suddenly, we're doing well. What happened? A new board came in, and they disrupt whatever has been happening in the past and put some things in motion. The guys are beginning to feel it again. But it must also come from the top. The ministry should be involved. State associations should be involved. Whatever we did at the African Games should continue till the Olympics for those that have qualified. In fact, conditioning should start now because we're approaching summer. But, Yemi, let us close African Games next week. Nobody is talking about it. You will not hear anything again till we release the list of athletes that represent Nigeria at the Olympics in Paris.
Wow. That's the sad part. Let me take my seat and talk to Kade Idris as well. Kade Idris, the issue now, just like Austin rightly put it, talent is not the issue.
Yeah, it's never the issue.
Getting the best out of them.
Yeah.
And one of the ways you're going to get the best out of them, even if you sort out the administrative part, is to keep these guys active.
Yeah.
Which is a problem in these parts.
Which is a big problem. I think I was speaking with him one-on-one, and he said that, although I've heard him say it on some shows, Francis Obi, he said, do you know why people do 8 cheats in competitions? Because for their age grade, they don't have competition. So you're a 13-year-old and you have no competition in sight. When you hear under 5s should come and compete, because you want to display your wear, you will be there, and then you will lie that you're on under 5. That has been the problem. What happens from now? Do you know that sometimes boxings go 2 years without no proper competition? So you just go to the gym, hit the punching bag, do all those sparring with your coaches and your teammates, you go home for 2 years.
Yourself.
Nothing. And it's a problem. Also on this show, MMF Young, she was talking about how the likes of Dina Meshreb go to competition week in, week out. And for the last 2 months, I've not been able to go for any competition. Even this that we came, we were hours late.
All right.
It's a big issue.
All right.
And I believe if we listen to each other, we could break grounds.
All right, let's not make it look like it's tales of doom. We're here to celebrate Team Nigeria. We're reflecting on the amazing performance. Even though it must be said, Egypt set a record, 102 gold medals. Has never been done at the African Games, but we can't celebrate what Team Nigeria was able to achieve, and we're hoping that we'll replicate this at the Olympics. And of course, we add it over to the sports ministry. Let's take it from there. All right, let's move over now and talk about the Nigeria Professional Football League. We have played 27 matches now. Getting interested by the day. Match day 27 results. I want to talk about it. And even before I know I was going to come on the show, Aqua United won. And I was talking to myself, and I hope this victory wouldn't be wasted, because going away and winning, but you're still in the bottom position. All right, match day 27 results. United Tornadoes defeated 3SC Plateau United, lost the game I was talking about to Aqua United. Remo Stars beat Benel Insurance. Choir United, of course, defeated the Abayan fans, talking about the Yimba. Lobby Stars played a 1-1 draw with Bielsa United. All right, Heartland, the problem continues for Heartland, and it's very, very difficult to look past Heartland going down. But we've seen miracles happen in football, so let's see. Heartland losing at home to Enugu Rangers, the league leaders. Of course, Casino United, beating Abia Warriors 2-1. Canopilas, slim 1-0 victory over Sporting Lagos. Doma United played a 1-1 draw with Gombe United. Austin, do us a summary of what has happened. But, after 27 matches, if a team is in the bottom 4, you will be afraid for what will happen at the end of the season.
You should be, particularly with the Nigeria Premier Football League, where if you're not winning games at home and you're going away to lose after match day 25, you should forget it, because then the teams that are in the bottom 4, it gets very difficult to beat them. Aqua United, with all of their struggles this season, went away to the new Jos Stadium. Did you see the crowd in Jos? And they were unfazed. In fact, scored a late goal to stun and silence everyone in that stadium in Jos. That tells you that you don't want to play a team that is fighting relegation. And with that win, Aqua United, they did themselves a lot of good. They've now jumped up to the 17th on the table, but now they can breathe because They know that they cannot be going away to lose games. Lobby Stars, decent team this season, beat all of the top teams to stay relevant. Couldn't beat Bayelsa United because Bayelsa United, they're also in that bottom four. You see what I mean? Now, the only team, for instance, that showed intent for match day 27 is Rangers. The Flying Antelopes, we know that the Oriental Derby isn't what it is because of the former Heartland seems to be suffering. But Rangers had to milk it. Won that one by 2-1. Fantastic result for them. And now they're on top of the league table. They lead by just 1 point. And quickly they went to Sweet Lonely at the top. You see what bragging rights can do. They got to the top of the table and now they are using it to chase people. But it tells you, match day 27, when you look at it, you can tell how competitive the league can be. Kwara United, for instance, I always say that they are a decent team and can beat any big team on a good day. They defeated Eimba by 2-1. Now look at Aqua United and where they are on the league table. You start wondering. Aqua United defeated Bendel Insurance, defeated Eimba. They've gone away now to beat my team of the season, Plateau United. Yeah. You start wondering, why is such a team 17th on the log? That's the NPFL for you because you cannot afford to be inconsistent. You cannot afford to have an opportunity to win and then you don't take it. For instance, people are saying, oh, Shooting Stars, Shooting Stars. Shooting Stars are where they are now by virtue of those away wins, that away win that they achieved, and now went back to beat Remo Stars in Ibadan. Aqua United will play Remo Stars next. They need to show character. Otherwise, if they lose that game, they will take the pressure back to you and they might just keep suffering. So that's the MPFL. Match day 27, I love it. Everything that happened, really got us talking. I was expecting 3SC, your team, to do a surprise win over Niger Tornadoes and make it 3 wins out of 3 games. But they couldn't do it. Niger Tornadoes went on to win by 2-1. Remo Stars that we can see right there, screen defeated Bendel Insurance by 2-0. They needed that win so bad. This is a rivalry in our football that we've come to welcome. So each time these two teams meet, they give us good football, they get us talking, only when they are not fighting themselves,
All right. Okay. All right. So interesting. Let me just quickly take a look at this so our viewers can see. Austin has painted a picture, but you can see on your screen, Enugu Rangers. This is top 4. This is what it looks like. Enugu Rangers, Lobby Stars, Remo Stars, and of course the Aba Elephants, top 4. This is what it looks like after match day 27. Let's look at the bottom 4. There you go. Aqua United, Bayelsa United, Gombe United, Heartland in that position. You don't want the National Millionaires to be in that position. So that's it. But Kate Idris, before we go, I'll talk about the ladies quickly. Sum up the weekend for me.
For the NPFL?
Yes.
I think Austin have got his pick in Plateau United. I think my pick should be Enugu Rangers. Looking at how Enugu Rangers fared last season, it was a thorough struggle for them to survive. But Fidelis Electrical keep reminding everybody, give me time. And this time, not just them topping the table at match day 27. Look at the GD, the goal difference. They have the finest goal difference, except tallied on that with Plateau United. But Plateau United are a distance off when it comes to points. So Aqua United, Rangers are getting back to being the Rangers that we know. I've said that is the biggest win for me this weekend, but Aqua United going away to win. I respect that so much. In a time like this, these are the kind of victories they need to come up with. And I said it last week, Austin is my friend. I will look out for Aqua United every now and then. So for Sporting Lagos, hey, it's a Lagos club. I'm a Lagos boy. I want to see them continue their survival.
All right. Okay. So let's quickly switch gears now and talk about the ladies so that we don't get accused of always neglecting the ladies. All right. On your screen, matches to be played tomorrow. You have match day 11 in Group A. Adamawa Queens up against Nigeria Royal Queens, up against Confluence Queens. Heartland Queens up against Abia Angels. Nazareth Amazons up against Dana's Ladies. All of these matches in Group A. Let's flip quickly to Group B. Bayelsa Queens up against Rebel Stars Ladies. FC Rebel Queens up against Ekiti Queens. Edo Queens will face Sunshine Queens. Then you have Rivers Angels up against Delta Queens. These are the matches to be played for the ladies. All right, Kaide Idris, let me allow you to speak for 1 minute. We've not addressed the elephant in the room, the battle of the Eagles in Morocco, but let's allow you talk about this one quickly.
I'm hoping Rivers Angels won't kill off Delta Queens because they are bitter. They wanted victory in Edo last week, but it couldn't happen. This time they will be looking to do that, confirm their place at the Super Six. And for Robo Queens and the likes of Edo Queens, they want to continue that surge to see if they can get a place in there. In Group A, there is something about Niger Raiders, but this season has not been it. For the Lagos clubs, Danas is another in Group A. The worry continues. So I think Atlant, probably some say they should employ, their ladies to also play
Start
for the
playing
men,
in the place of the guys.
And so they can help them survive. So I just want to see how much the 11 will go because as much as we've had so much break, it always feels like they've given us enough action for us to remember the NWFL every now and then. So I want to see another match day.
All right. I have just about a few minutes to wrap things up on the show. Let me yield to Austin now in a few minutes. Of course, the Eagles, two Eagles will battle it out. Of course, we expect the Super Eagles to come out on top. Too many injuries to talk about, but of course, that's the job of a coach to handle the issues. What are your expectations from the game?
I think it's going to be a beautiful game of football. I've listened to Coach Finidi George talk about this one with the expected enthusiasm and optimism that you want from a coach who has been with the team for some time. That's what you want to hear from a coach that was with a team that made it to the final of the AFCON. You mentioned injuries, but that shouldn't stop it. We're waiting for kickoff time. 10 p.m. West African time, 10 p.m. So right after this show, we should be getting that game on the way. And the starting list has been released. Wabali is in goal. Samuel Osai is starting. Jamilu Collins. It's good to see Jamilu Collins again. There is Semi Ajayi. Kenneth Omeruo will be the captain for the day. Chidozia Waziem is in the mix. Wilfred Indidi, Alex Iwobi, Ralph Wadike, Kelechi Senior Man, Kel Zienacho, and of course Moses Simon. That's the starting 11. And I think they can get the job done against Mali. This is a technical game. I want to see how Coach Finidi George will switch it. I want to see how he's going to get some useful play again in midfield. He told us the last time he went with 3-5-2. Just because he wants support up front. Let's see what he's going to do this time around. I like the role Alex Iwobi played, how he made himself available, picked up the good spaces to be available to pick up passes and then played it, gave us the assists that we know Alex Iwobi for, That's what was missing at the AFCON. This is what everybody talking about, the tactics. A player should be able to come and give us his full potentials whenever there is a problem, irrespective of the tactics. So I want to see how to switch it up against a technical Malian side. Mali was also decent at the AFCON, so they're in good spirit. This should be a beautiful game of football. I'm looking forward to it, 10 p.m. It will be showtime, Yemi. That's a good place for me to learn. Thank you so much to everyone all over the world that did this show with us. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right. Before I go, I want to thank Kaide Idris for his time. Yeah. You're not getting the chance to talk about the Eagles, but you can talk about the Eagles with me.
Of course.
But you do that when we are out of the studio.
No problem.
Thank you for your time. It's a wrap on Sports Tonight. Today, join us again tomorrow. We'll have more time to talk sports and give you all the updates in the fast-paced, money-spinning world of sports. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.